What's up, everyone? Welcome to the all-new FXK weekly Forex forecast breakdown series. I do want to thank all of you guys for tuning in today, guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest market forecast. With that being said, guys, I'm not going to hold you any longer. We're going to go ahead and dive into this week's FXK market review. Starting off, I am checking out NZDJPY. I really love this setup. From the higher time frame to the lower time frame. Basically what I'm looking for is another retest to this resistance area here, to our weekly resistance around that 7,500 level. I'm also looking for price to give us that rejection near or at our counter trend line, aligning with that 61.8 confluence. If we check out the daily time frame, guys, you can see right now it is quite bullish as far as that move that we're making to the upside right now. Okay. Previously, we had that double top. Let's scoot this over here. We had that double top, which was right here, right? Okay, so we take the measurement to that double top. Can duplicate that. And so you guys can see we pretty much completed that measurement. So right now I'm looking for that retracement for price to retrace back to that 61.8 level and then give us that bounce off. What I'm going to be looking for ultimately once we get here, I'm going to be looking for exhaustion, of course. Okay. I also want price action to align by showing me some kind of reversal in the market, whether it's a candlestick formation. If we start to see a pattern on a lower time frame, maybe the 1 hour, if we get any kind of reversal pattern, which could be, you know, a head and shoulders pattern, maybe it's a rising wedge, different things like that. Anything that we can show on the bear side once we get in this area. So we need that extra confirmation once we reach this area. If it comes to this area very strong bullish, okay. So if that daily time frame is still looking strong bullish, especially with those closes around the 61.8 area, then we probably want to wait maybe another day or two to potentially get some kind of reversal candles, maybe a inverted hammer or maybe some doji, something that's going to show that exhaustion in the market before we look to execute this trade. But overall, guys, that's going to be NZDJPY. I also have the trade indication on here for you as well. Again, guys, always do your own back testing before you take any of our trades, guys. If you like the idea, then go for it, okay? NZDJPY. Next, we'll be going over UJ. I do like the yen pairs this week. Pretty much on UJ, pretty simple. I'm looking for downside overall, guys. I'm team bears on this one. I want to see price break below that 111, 380 level. That's going to give me my further downside confirmation. Right now, I am in shorts. I took the short here. Okay, and I also told my team about this short as well around this region here. So we are short here. I have moved my stop loss to entry as well. So if it comes back up, more than likely I'll be looking for more entries to the downside. But overall, to trade this safely, you really just want to wait for us to break below this support level. That should give the confirmation that we're going to achieve the next region. If you don't want to go for this full support level, I would range it. That way you get a good estimate on where price could go. Okay, so anywhere within this range, I would look to take profit on this trade if we break below that support. So watch for that. You also, guys, if we break below the support, we do have a temporary support right here as well. Okay, so something like this could happen. So if you want to wait for a little safer trade, you could wait for that break of support to tap this support, then back to resistance, right? And then to carry on with that final move. So it's completely up to you. It just depends on the type of trader you are. If you're a more conservative trader, then, you know, you can wait for the safe entry. But if you're a little bit more aggressive, then you can catch, you know, either at the top here, which it's already kind of went. So I do have a premature lot here as well. And then I do have another trade looking pending once we break below this support area here. So that's pretty much UJ. First target is going to be this range here. Okay, that's going to be that 110,900 level. The next range I'm going to look for price to reach is going to be that weekly support level, which is going to be that 110 even level, guys. That's a nice, good round number for price to potentially achieve. So that's what I'm going to be looking for on UJ. Not much more on that one. If we see any other kind of patterns, things like that, as price heads to the downside, if it does, again, I want to wait for that confirmation for price to break below this support. That's what's going to confirm further downside for me, okay? And so if we do break below that support, and I do look to see this range actually compete all the way down to that 110 level, okay? So heading down to that level as far as catching more entries on the way down, looking for patterns, okay? So you're going to be looking for any kind of continuation patterns. So not necessarily reversal patterns. We're going to look for continuation patterns, okay? So things that are going to be in our favor that are looking to continue to the downside. But that's going to be UJ, guys. Next thing that we're looking for is going to be CADCHF, okay? So we're actually already in this trade. We've been taking this trade since last week, okay? So recently I let the team know that price was going to more than likely pull back up. So some of the team actually took profit on this trade. Some others just readjusted their stop loss to where it originally was and just held on to it. It just depends altogether what type of trader you are. But overall, guys, I gave a fresh setup for this week. So far, it's looking really good. I gave this setup around this range, and so we did kind of bounce right up, wicked us right into the T, guys. Beautiful entry, okay? And then we're headed down to that downside right now, right? So potentially we might see another bounce up. Reason being is because I want to see USD CAD, okay? That's another pair that we're about to go over. I want to see USD CAD head a little bit more to the downside. I'm actually going to hop over real quick to show you guys, okay? Overall, this pair right now, I like the structure that it's making. It's more so of a corrective structure. It could be a flag on the lower time frame as well. If it is a flag, then this might actually be the region that we look to take off. If we take off here, okay, if we take off here on USD CAD, I do think CADCHF will just go ahead and continue to melt. Again, we're already in this trade. So if it does go ahead and melt, you want to wait for price to break this counter trend line and make a retest, okay? More than likely, we're going to hit this demand zone here, okay, and give some type of pullback if we do break, right? And then you look to catch that continuation to the downside. So overall, guys, if you want to split this up into the targets on this one, you do see that I do have the highlight on here as well, okay? You can split it up just how I'm going to show you here, just to highlight a couple of key levels. And I'm actually going to bring this one up a little bit more, seeing that we already have this level highlighted here. So I'm going to bring this level here, okay? So as far as right now, entry from the top, my take profit one would actually be around this range. Overall, basically anywhere in the demand zone, okay? Take profit two is going to be anywhere in this demand zone, okay? Around that 75,300 level, okay? And my take profit three is going to be around that 7,500 level, okay? And I'm actually going to take profit just right before we get to the extension level, so you guys can see here where I have the highlighter. That's actually where I'm looking to take profit, which will be somewhere around that 75040 level, okay? So again, you can choose any of these take profit levels that you'd like. It's completely up to you. Personally, I usually aim for either TP2 or TP3. Mainly, I aim for TP2. That's just because of how my style is, kind of like that in and out. So usually TP3 is more so a longer term kind of achievement, right? So normally my take profit threes usually happen the following week, right? So for this week, just kind of give you guys an example. We can wick into the entry, which we did. We can drop and hit that TP1 range, okay? And by the end of the week, we might only achieve this level, okay? Somewhere around this range. So somewhere around the end of the week, we might see something like this. And then the beginning of next week, we might get a pullback just to continue down to hit that TP for that next following week. So usually that TP3 for me usually hits the next following week. So depending on how you trade, guys, you can choose your own poison here as far as for the take profits. Something that I would do usually is probably take profit here, look for that pullback and that exhaustion, and then catch another re-entry to rewrite this down. Okay, so that's going to be CADCHF. Next thing that we'll go over is USDCAD. I kind of want to go over these hand in hand so you guys can get a good view. Again, when USDCAD is ready to take off for me, that's really when I'm going to be looking at CADCHF. Okay, so USDCAD, really nice pullback. Okay, that we're looking at right now. We had that daily impulsive move to the upside here, guys, from last week. Very beautiful. Okay, and then towards the end of the week, we started to round off. Okay, and so we actually gave out a trade at the beginning of the week, and we were looking for this here. Okay, so beautiful pullback into that supply zone here. Okay, right here, buy back in that supply zone, but really we were just looking for the sells. So sell down. Right now, my take profit for this pair overall is going to be around the 35,500 level. Okay, I'm looking for the entry around the 61.8. That's really where I want to catch my prime entry at. But seeing how price is right now and making this structure that it's making, to me, this is a continuation structure. We might actually see the break pretty soon. We might actually also have a little divergence in here as well. You guys can feel free to check that out on your own. But we might have a little divergence here that could signal the potential upside break coming soon. So what I would look for is actually a break above resistance here. That's what's going to confirm the upside for me. This area here around that 34,800 level. Okay, so on this pair, the perfect entry for me is going to be at the 61.8. Okay, if it breaks a little bit earlier, it definitely could. I'm going to show you why. Okay, so we do have a counter trend line right here, which it could very much so play off of. Okay, so again, it hasn't reached that counter trend line yet, so just kind of watch out for that. If it is going to go up a little bit more premature. Again, it's only Monday, so again, we have non-farm payroll at the end of this week, guys, so being aware of that news event. This is a USD pair. Okay, just kind of being mindful of that towards the end of the week on Friday. But overall, I'm looking for upside on USDCAD, guys. My best entry is going to be around that 61.8. If it breaks prematurely, look for the break above that 34,800 level, and you guys can catch the continuation to the upside. Okay, so that's USDCAD. That pair looks really good from the higher time frame to the lower. Okay, from the weekly, daily, and down. USDCAD next, guys. We'll be going over AUDUSD. So this pair is something that we're carrying over from last week. We're already in this trade, as you guys can see. I do have the highlighter on here as well. Okay, we're looking at a buy once price made this lower low. Okay, so right now we are stalling. Okay, currently, so we can see that price is sort of making a resistance here. Okay, so we're kind of making this resistance here. And ultimately, that support is going to be in this range. Okay, so we're kind of in this range right now. So I am expecting further upside on AUDUSD. Okay, to confirm that, I want to see price go ahead and break above this resistance zone here. And from there, I'm going to look for a pop to that upside around that 61.8 area. And then I'm actually going to look for price to decline. Okay, I'm looking for sales around this range. We might actually even come back to retest our higher time frame counter trend line here, and then see that decline in price. Okay, so overall, this is AUDUSD. I'm looking for a break above this resistance for the continuation. So if you guys want to hop in this trade, wait for price to impulsively break above this zone, and then you guys can hop in this trade with the stop loss a little bit under this demand zone here. As you guys can see, our stop loss is here originally. Once it breaks above that zone, we're actually going to move our stop loss a lot closer to entry or at in profit. I'm sorry, or in profit. So it's completely up to you, again, depending on the type of trader you are. But that's AUDUSD for the continuation of the buy for this week. Again, we have non-farm payrolls this Friday, guys, so being aware of that. Depending on where we are in price on Friday, as far as for the buys, okay, that's going to determine if I close it or not, okay? Depending on what price is looking like getting near Thursday night, coming into that Friday, I might go ahead and close out this trade and start preparing maybe for early sales. Or if it's still a little bit down here by Friday, then I might look to see some buys for non-farm payroll to complete this move to the upside. And then maybe the following for next week, we'll see AUDUSD actually decline. So for those of you who don't know, AUDUSD is actually my favorite pair. I have been trading for about 5 years, okay? AUDUSD for this week's forecast is pretty much that downside, okay? We've been trading this pair since the beginning of this year, okay? We've been selling this pair all the way down, okay? I actually have a weekly setup that you guys can feel free to check out on my trading view, okay? You guys can check my trading view at FXK Trading. And you guys can see in some of those review charts. So I'm actually looking for this to play out, continue playing out with that higher time frame chart that I actually have on that trading view, okay? So AUDUSD downside overall is what I'm looking for. Again, we're scalping this pair up to the upside for now until we look to take our sales. So overall, guys, I'm selling this pair. Right now, we're just taking quick buys. Again, the sell can happen at any moment. So don't get caught up in a buy when overall that we're looking for a downside in price, okay? So be aware of that on AUDUSD. Next pair we'll go over is going to be NZDUSD, okay? So this pair, nice and clean, pretty simple here, guys. I'm looking for price to break this support level, okay? I'm bearish on NZDUSD. I'm bearish on AUDUSD overall. I'm bullish on USDCAD. I'm going to show you guys gold here in a few. I'm bearish on gold as well, okay? All right, so with NZDUSD, what I'm looking for is a break below support, okay? That's overall going to give me my confirmation for the downside, and I'm actually just looking for a quick little pop here for probably about anywhere from 30 to 60 pips here to the downside here. And once we get to this next demand zone, then I'll actually relook at price and reevaluate to see exactly what it's doing. And we might actually see a retracement back up to resistance and then the continuation to the downside once we get to that resistance. So overall, I'm going to take this pair a little bit more on the conservative side. I'm actually waiting for the break of support before I do anything on this pair. But I will give you guys kind of my full vision of what price could do on NZDUSD. Okay, so right now we've definitely made somewhat of a double bottom here, right? So we got this nice rejection here two times, right? So clean, smooth bounce off of that level. We can see we're having some nice daily candles to the upside. I do like how price is starting to show some wicks, okay? So signs of exhaustion starting to build up here as we reach to our weekly resistance around that 6,700 level, okay? So really what I'm looking for in this pair is kind of a bubble, like a range, right? So anywhere in this range, we can see a potential wick, anything like this, right? So I'm looking for that decline to come in this range. So this is going to be a range between that weekly resistance and that 38.2, okay? So if you want to take this a little bit more aggressive, I'm looking for price to give us those signs of weakness here. We also have a counter trend line here as well, okay? I'm going to go to a lower time frame to show you guys that a little bit better. Boom. So there we go, guys. So on NZDUSD, look for that pop to that upside, some kind of wick in this range. If you guys have any kind of strategies that show you exhaustion, by all means, use that in this area to identify potentially if we're going to see price reverse in this area and decline. If so, then that weekly resistance at 6,700 level, guys, is going to be definitely ideal for entries to the downside. Stop loss, of course, is always going to go generally at either your previous high or your previous low. So this is going to be our previous high, guys. So unless you have anything else in your bag of tricks, you guys can feel free to use this area as a general area for a stop loss, which is that previous high. Personally, me, I would add a lot of other things on here to show me other areas of interest that I would look to place my stop loss regions. Again, always, guys, if you'd like more education, feel free to head on over to our website at FXKTrading.com. And you guys can definitely check out our mentoring program. So that's going to be NZDUSD. The next pair that we're going to go over is going to be gold. Okay. Overall, guys, on NZDUSD, we could NZDUSD, yes, we could potentially reach that 64,300 level long term. But again, I'm going to wait for price to actually just achieve this level. And then from there, I'll look to reevaluate to see if we're going to get maybe a pullback here and then the continuation down to this level. If we get that clean break below this level, I'm going to watch for wicks around our 272 Fibo level. Okay, if we get any kind of wicks or break or clean break below this level, then that's when I'm going to look to go ahead and hold that trade to this downside level, which will be that 64,300 level. Next up, guys, is going to be gold. So gold's pretty interesting, guys. I'm always mainly interested in that 61.8 level. Okay, so you guys can see we have a little bit ways before we get to it currently. Okay, so we have made a high. Okay, and then we made a low. Okay, and then we made a lower high. Okay, and then we made a lower low. So what I'm actually looking for price to potentially do again is make another lower high. Okay, and if we're going from the full range, we can consider this the actual high, and then the low, and then the lower high, and then the lower low, and then the lower high, and then the lower low, and then potentially looking for a new lower high. So it just depends on where you want to start that from, guys. So we're going to go ahead and highlight those on there. I went ahead and placed that fib from this previous swing high to the low here. Okay, and so that's going to give us this range, and we can see that 61.8 is really ideal. We definitely got this perfect rejection of our 50 around that 1288 level. Okay, so that's definitely looking really nice. Let's see, guys. Let's see. So we have our counter trend line as well. So if we hop down to that lower time frame, all right, so we can see here, I'm going to re-highlight these in green so you guys can tell the difference. So we're kind of making like an inner channel. Okay, we're kind of making that inner structure between our inner channel, right? So we're making these highs and these lows, right? So we got that high, higher low. So I'm actually looking for one more higher high, right? There we go. So this is what I'm looking for on gold. Okay, so I'm looking for price to decline from the 61.8 level. You guys can see we have that inner channel here, which you can definitely play off of right now. We are back at our demand zone, which is also support. Okay, so we could be making a rise from this level, guys. So if you're seeing any confirmations as far as with your strategy, then by all means, we might see a bullish trade to the upside here on gold. Okay, till we get to that 61.8 level, I'm going to be looking for exhaustion around this counter trend line. Okay, we might actually just wick this range too, guys. This is a really nice level. Okay, even if we look back in price, we can see some congestion around this range, right? Checking out all of these areas of reversal. Okay, so definitely seeing those areas highlight this range is definitely going to be a nice area to watch price potentially decline. So that's going to be gold, guys. Next, we're going to go over GJ, and that's going to be actually the last pair that we review for this week. And actually, this is our first weekly forecast here. So I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to be giving out updates throughout the week as far as for some of the chart setups. It just depends on you guys' feedback. Feel free to comment, guys, and let me know what you guys would like to see. Would you guys prefer me give out updates throughout the week as well, as far as videos for potential opportunities that I've reviewed once we drop these breakdowns like this one? Or would you guys just like for me to drop that one breakdown for that week and kind of just explain it all in a nutshell? So go ahead and feel free to drop those in the comments of what you guys would like me to do. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, if you'd like to see a lot more content from me, okay? So GJ, this trade was played out very nicely. Since last week, we're actually looking at potential rejections from this range, okay? We got a nice rejection of about, see how many pips this was, guys. Looks like we're about 90 pips up, right? So somewhere around that 90 pip range to the upside, we can see here on the lower time frame, we're actually making a double top in this range. I can also see a Gartley pattern on the lower time frame as well. So I'll move that over here. So we bring it back to price. You guys can see kind of what's going on there for my harmonic fans there. I'll drop that fibber on. And I hope all of you guys are having a great trading week so far. I know it's only Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend as well. So that's going to be that fibber there for GJ to kind of align with that harmonic pattern. So you guys can see that double top here definitely playing out right now. So again, with those double tops, double bottoms, we definitely love to grab an estimate range of where price is actually made. And what we do is we grab these from the top of that double top to the neckline. And I don't like to be greedy anytime, okay, with price. So I like to get more so the conservative range when I am measuring things. So there's two areas that you could potentially grab this measurement from. We could have went from this support or this support. So to me, this support is a little bit more aggressive. And you're kind of expecting a little bit more pips out of it to the downside, which is, it's nothing wrong with that, guys. It's definitely nothing wrong with that. But if we go for this area here, it feels to me a little bit more conservative. And I like to, feel that this area would hit, of course, more than, maybe this one, because it doesn't always have to give that full range of what the pattern is showing you, okay? But it will give you something on what the pattern is showing you. And so this smaller range is the something that I like to see versus the full range. Sometimes you don't always get it, right? So if we grab a decent range from here, just that double top adding the confluence on that Gartley bearish pattern that we found here, GJ might see a downside movement, okay, from this range. Okay, my first target level is more than likely back to the demand zone, but we can actually grab this level. And what I like to do, guys, is sometimes even if you have the measurement, yeah, it's a good range, but if you can grab somewhere where you're going to be able to, hit TP and get clean out of that trade without having any problems, because we all know GJ loves to wick. So this is definitely another good area to potentially go ahead and just drop that TP at, which would be that 144.015 level, or you can go for that 14400 level smooth, okay? So that's GJ, guys. I'm looking for further downside on this pair. It has been playing out pretty well so far. I've been following this pair for about 3 weeks, just kind of watching, seeing what it's been doing. And so it's been playing out pretty well. We actually took the sell from this pair as well to the downside. And so we took that buy up, as I told you guys as well. So maybe potentially we're looking at selling this pair again. What can confirm the sell as far as for a safe entry to confirm it? I would look for the break below this support. Okay, so not necessarily this support, but if we want to make sure we can grab a safe confirmation, I will look for the break. I'm going to clean this up a little bit for you guys. So you guys can see that support there. That's what I would look for as far as to give us the safe trade to the downside. We're talking sell stops below that level. Again, generally, you would have to find somewhere to place your stop loss using your own strategy, guys. But the general area would be, your previous high or your previous low. Okay, guys. So that's going to be GJ in a nutshell, guys. That's all of the pairs that I am watching right now, guys. I do want to thank all of you for tuning into this week's market forecast. And as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely comment, guys, anything that you would like to see further in the future for our forecast breakdowns and as far as weekly market updates, guys. As always, have a great trading week, guys, and I'll see you guys next week for the next breakdown.